This underwater sparkling aging project that is coming together came originally from the idea of partnering up with an oyster farmhouse, the BeauSoleil Oysters House, in order to achieve aging wine underwater. This is a sparkling wine that we disgorged 1,000 bottles, of which we're taking 500 and we're aging them in our cellar as we would any and all other sparklings that we produce. But the other 500, the interesting thing is we're taking them and we're putting them underwater here in the Atlantic Ocean. The idea here is to see how it evolves with very different conditions than the one aged in the cellar. We want to see how the cold temperatures of the sea through the whole year affect the wine, the additional pressure from the outside environment affecting the wine, the tidal effect that moves the wine itself. All those little factors are going to influence how the wine tastes.
I've been working all week building these cages, and just like the thrill of it, the thrill of today, going on the water and doing something that I've never done before and that we're going to try to do. And it's not, nobody in North America has done this, or as far as I know.
In Europe, there are shipwrecks that are being, discovered, and champagne bottles have been in the ship and they sank to the bottom of the English Channel. And we've heard stories where wine has been brought up. It aged in this environment that is very different than your typical above water scenario. Now we're putting it in a different environment, which is a liquid environment, which is a cold environment, and we're attempting to age it for over a year under that ocean water. Well, to say that there is no risk would be a lie. There's heightened pressure around the bottle itself. The temperature is a little bit more extreme. There's dynamic fluid movement within the tidal effect. So all these uncertainties, we're hopefully covering them by addressing them with the technology that we have. We've used galvanized steel wire hoods so that the corrosive effect of salt water is lessened on the wire hood itself. The cork is inserted to the limit that is allowable to extract the cork, so it's fully expanded inside the bottleneck itself. Very interested to see how the aromatics develop at a colder and slower rate as opposed to the typical cellar conditions, which are a little bit warmer. The best case scenario, we'll have a phenomenally balanced wine, very elegant and evolving at a very slow pace, allowing for a longer life. Worst case scenario, every bottle will break. Just under 6 months ago, we had this crazy idea to run an experiment by dropping sparkling wine that has been disgorged underwater here in the Atlantic Ocean. We're about at the midpoint of the stage. We don't know how it's doing. We're about to write out exactly where we dropped it based on the GPS locations. And we're going to try and pull up a couple samples to see how it's surviving under this sheet of ice and under the water here in the Atlantic.
Teamwork on 2, 1, 2, 3.
There's something exciting about the experiment itself. There's that little period between disgorging and drinking it that really allows the wine to come together. When it comes to aging wine, you take advantage of everything that comes your way, and when you think about it, cold is an amazing asset that we have in winemaking.
So, this is where the cages are. We'll measure how far we are from this hole, and then we'll make another hole directly above it. If we're lucky, that first hole we're gonna catch right on it.
So although the extreme cold above water is noticeable, it's a nippy -9 right now. Underwater, it's a stable temperature because the ice sheet is acting as its own insulating unit and protector. So the best case scenario is the wine is dormant and evolving gently and elegantly. And as a worst case scenario, when we pull up the bottles, we find damage or we find breakage.
So this is an ROV. Basically a little submarine. It's got little fins in the back. Goes in the water. That's how we're gonna find the cages that they're pretty close to us, but just exactly locate them, that's what we're gonna use.
So they've survived. Now the question is, how do we get it out just to taste it?
We have a few holes that we've dug, and we saw the cage by using the underwater drone. The problem is Max didn't charge the battery, so we're stuck with our gut feeling now. We're gonna see what's under here and try to find that crate.
So the chainsaw broke.
I mean, Murphy's Law is the theme of the weekend. Like, we know where we are. X marks the spot, can't find it. Start cracking some oysters, break the oyster knife.
See at first glance, like, it looks great, it looks intact, the wine has not changed any appearance, it's crystal clear. The cork is showing signs of the rust of the wire hood going on it, but I mean, the wire hood looks good. Smells like the sea. Ooh. It does have something distinct. The wine is tasting great. The aromatics are super intense, and maybe it's just the salt air that we're surrounded by here, but like, there's a brininess that is so bright. Phenomenal tasting of this wine. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes in the next couple of months.
Just over a year ago, we decided to run this crazy project of dropping wine into the ocean and see how it ages under the water surface. Why go underwater? Why age it in the ocean? The cellar conditions in Champagne in the caves, they're damp conditions, they're cold conditions, they're obscure conditions in terms of being far away from all the elements that could deteriorate the wine or accelerate the deterioration. And then on the other side is, there have been shipwrecks, and some sparkling wines have been pulled out and the wine has preserved. The worst case scenario is there's absolutely no way that this wine makes it out of the water. And as an experimentation project, obviously failure is a reality that can happen. So we're here, we're ready to extract, we're excited. There's a lot of uncertainty around bringing it back up. We're really excited to see full circle as this wine, comes out of the water. Every single time that we've been here on site, there's been a theme. The first one was the uncertainty, the uncharted territory in a way. And since then, we've been talking about the project as X marks the spot. It's open to the air, and the wines are there, and pirates can come and snorkel and find it. And then the second one, we called it Murphy's Law. And Murphy's Law, if anything could go wrong, would go wrong. Everything was breaking, and yet the most important thing that we thought would break didn't. This is the moment where everything peaks, and this is the moment where everything culminates, and we're so excited to change the tune of it and bring this wine back home. growth on this. Some of it is little bryozoa. Some of it's some little barnacles. That's gorgeous. Little barnacle here on the neck. That's a gorgeous cork too. Look at that color. That's gorgeous. It's almost like sweet nori. Like, it's unmistakably different. The nose is totally different than in the summer. It's almost like there's layers of it. It's not even. There are layers and layers to this. It's savory. Oh man. And I love that every bottle is gonna have this, like, this is incredible growth. Like when you look at it, it's like a fingerprint. There's such, oh, it's alive right there. We're gonna make sure to preserve this as much as we can without it going putrid. I feel like my shoulders have dropped and relaxed. Like the fact that this came out as it did, the fact that it's tasting as it is, the fact that the bottles are so unique and yet well preserved, this couldn't have gone better. So here's to this project, here's to the partnership. Oh, it's delicious. Quality control.
The nose fact.